guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Nancy from nancybadijo.com, and welcome to another episode of Etsy Shop Critique. And today I had the pleasure of giving a critique for Kelly's and David's Etsy shop. Thank you, Kelly, for signing up to get the critique. I really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get started. So my first impression when I saw the store was like, wow, I need one of these dice games for my next event. I thought they're so cool, they're so unique. I'd never seen them before. I started doing research on Etsy and came to find out that there's a couple other stores that sell it as well. Such a unique item. I think that once you fix up a couple things, and like you said, you were gonna add additional items to your store, I think you will do really well with it because it's very unique, it's very nice, and something very different. So from the ordinary store. So let's go ahead and get started on your review. I did a review on this listing right here. So the first thing is photography. That's the first thing that people see before they look at the listing description, before they look at the shipping prices or the price of the item. That's the number one thing they look at. I did notice that the pictures are different sizes. So this picture size different than this one, this one, this one, and that one, and the last ones. So what I would recommend is always make sure that you size them the right size. You could do this by using any app software on your phone. You could do canva.com. You could do Adobe Photoshop to resize the pictures. But it's not a deal breaker, but it does make everything look more cohesive and it looks more professional, and then it'll make your store stand out a little bit more as well. Another thing that I was going to suggest about the pictures is that because your items are made in a smoke-free environment, I would add a call to action. Like I would add one picture at the end saying that, because you never know, there are going to be people out there that would be would be like, wow, that's great, let me buy from them. A lot of people actually would like to buy something like this that is environmental friendly. So I would highly suggest to create an additional link or then additional picture at the end of the last one, and then just state how you guys make it and how it's smoke free environment, so that you guys make it in a smoke free environment. That's actually pretty awesome. So I will add that. I will also add maybe another picture with people actually playing with the dice. So doing different activities like the ones that you stated, like birthday parties or family pictures or church, etc. But just having like people use it so people could kind of see how it looks with actual people holding it. And then my only other suggestion would be for the pictures is to also add a call to action picture. And a call to action is basically like a picture saying, click below to read, to learn more about this product, or click below to read listing description, and view matching items if you have matching items. This way, it's almost like you're telling the customer what to do next. A lot of times, that's the best marketing strategies that you could have. So doing that as well will increase the likelihood of them staying longer in your page, reading the listing description, and hopefully landing you more sales because of that. So I would say, if you can, size off all your pictures the same size, and then add the smoke-free environment at the end. That's very important that you should do that. And I like the fact that you have this picture here. It makes it easier for someone like me that I need to see something visual. It makes it easy for me to understand how big of a size it is. So that's great to do that. I always tell customers when you sell something tangible like this, that you should always have an image to scale it, and you guys actually did that. So that's awesome. So great job at that. The next step I wanted to talk about was SEO. So great job at using all your keywords in your title, and then spacing each keyword with a comma. That's how you want to do it. Every keyword should be spaced out with a comma. That way the search engine knows that that's the end of a keyword and a new keyword's beginning. I would highly recommend to do your SEO again. Some of your keywords are decent, and then some need to be changed. So for instance, This one here, lawn die set, wood die set. These are good. These could stay. You don't need to change those. For instance, lawn die set, you are on page one on Xi search for that keyword. So that's actually pretty good. So if you were to click on that one, and if you were to go to xe.com, I'm sorry, my internet's a little slow. If you were to put it in here, you're going to see that your store actually, well, when I did it earlier, it's right here. It auto populates on the first page. So that shows you that that keyword is a really good keyword. So you want to use keywords that are low competitive. That way you could come up on the first page, maybe the second, but we want to be in the first page of Xe and hopefully on the first page of Google as well for that keyword. If you use keywords like this, like family fun, um, or birthday parties, that's one, or picnics, one is too broad. That means that the keyword is too broad. Like picnics could be anything. Like it could be, you could be selling tableware, you could be selling hats for picnics, blankets for picnics. So it's too broad. Camping is too broad. So you have to come up with something additional. So if you Google camping, the reason why it's showing you that's very competitive is because look at how many other listings come up. 168,000 people are using the word camping. So you are competing with this many people. And in order for your ad to come up here, that means that if you were to run an Xe ad, your pay per click, which is the cost for every click, is going to be really high because you're competing with so many people. Versus when you use a keyword that's lower, even if you were like on the second or third page and you wanted to run ads so you could appear on the first page, your pay per click cost would be so much cheaper. So I would highly recommend that you don't use keywords that are so broad that has too many competition. For instance, for camping, you could put, let's say if you play around with it, you could put camping games, and then you can kind of see what comes up with that. So that kind of narrows it down a little bit more to 8,860. That would be a better keyword because the chances of you getting found organically increase. And then I will even think even more than that, because even though 8,000 is better than 400,000, you still, I'm sorry, 168,000, you still want to be a little bit less than that. So if you were to put camping family games, that actually goes down to 365. So if you were to use this one, you could potentially land like this person here. You see, you have it for one of your keywords in the first page of this, of Xe, basically, of this keyword. So you want to make sure that you don't just use any keywords and say, oh, let me just put camping, let me put park, let me put field trip. Like, you need to be more specific. If you put too broad, um, a lot of people already do that, so it's going to be too competitive. And if you put camping family games, the chances of getting a target customer is going to be so much better because that person is searching for family games. If you type in camping, it doesn't necessarily mean that person's looking for a game. They could be looking for camping gear or something related to camping. That's not necessarily a game. So you only have 13 keywords. So you want to make the most out of those 13 keywords. You want to choose keywords that are more targeted to your audience, and therefore the likelihood of someone buying increase. Even if you found a keyword that was this low, and let's say it just said camping, it might not be the best keyword either, even if the competition is low, because it doesn't necessarily mean, like I said, that someone is Google, searching camping in order to find a game. So if somebody was to type games into the camping family games, the chances of them buying the game is a lot higher because ultimately they were looking for games. So I hope that makes sense. So just think about the wording. You could go to rank check. I recommend using xrank.com, and you could go up here and you could put dice game and search, and it's going to give you different um, ideas of what to use, what's competitive, what's too competitive, what's low competition, and this is going to help you to find keywords that you could potentially rank on page one, and hopefully you will. And on top of that, that you don't have keywords that are too over competitive that you're not going to get any traffic. So here's a couple of them: wooden dice, jar dice. I'm sorry, I'm sick, so I apologize. Um, giant dice, large dice, dice tower. I don't know if that one really fits, but if you think it does, long dice. So there's a lot of keywords outdoor dice game. There's a lot of keywords that you actually could rank for, that you could take all the red ones from your listing and substitute them with these here. You see, there's so many because you are in a unique market. There's not that many people out there selling what you guys sell. So you'll be able to change your keywords, optimize them, and drive a lot of traffic, which is a nice thing. So I recommend XC Rank. I'll leave the link below so you could do competitor searching and find those keywords that will fit your brand a little bit more. Once you get, so SEO best practices. So once you do the research and you get the new keywords, make sure that you put those keywords in the beginning of your listing, the most important keywords in the beginning of your listing, and that you also include it in the listing description as well. Um, this the reason why is because that's just the SEO best practices. And another thing about the description is that this is what Google looks at. It's like a snippet of when somebody searches you in Google. So, for instance, let's go back to your listing. This is what people are seeing. So, if somebody was to type in um, what you wrote in your title, this is what they see. This great wood yardseed jackseed large die set. So this is what they see. This is exactly what you wrote right here. This great wood, you see? So you want to make sure that your description, or this is also called the meta description, is enticing and it makes somebody want to click. So you have to have a good catchy description that will entice people to click on the item. Be descriptive, add keywords, and be really precise on your wording. And this would increase the likelihood, if somebody found you on Google, that they'll click on the actual link and go to your Etsy shop to view what you're selling. So that's just a little tip to do. And remember, once you change the keywords, make sure you optimize your page by adding them here, and then adding them on your listing description on the top, and then adding them throughout your listing description as well. Another thing about optimizing keywords is that you should be using the keywords that you rank for on your tagline. You should use them on your shop announcement, and you should use them also in your category. This would drive more traffic to your website. Now, this writing a listing description. I see that your listing description is a little short. I highly recommend that you include the most important information about your item in the listing description. You should want to answer any questions a potential buyer may have. Make sure to include short paragraphs, or you can use bullet points to separate sections. I will condense down the first paragraph that you have. It's a little bit too long, and you do have like the size and what comes included. So that should be separated in different sections. So it should be description, how to order, what's included, size and color, shipping, return policy, etc., etc. But you should divide it into paragraph, because when people are reading, if it's a bulk, they tend to not read it, but if it's in sections, it tends to do better, I guess, scientifically. So just kind of break it down into pieces. And also, it builds credibility and trust, because if they have all the information there, one, they won't message you to ask you a question, and two, they won't leave the page because they have all the information they needed. So the likelihood of them buying is a lot greater. So make sure that you rewrite the listing description and basically at different sections, like I said, explaining the listing, the description of it, how to order, what's included, shipping and return policy. And then at the end of your listing description, I will add a backlink that takes them to back to your Etsy homepage. Because a lot of times when people finish reading, they'll click back, and then that will take them back to the Etsy search results. And you don't want them leaving the page. You want to keep them as long as you can on the page. So what I would do is add your home page down here. That way, when they click on it, it goes back to your home page, and they could browse the other items that you currently have. I will say you did a great job at adding the materials that you currently use. That's always good because people do read that and they want to know how it's made. So that's really good. Good job at curating your shop. You have the slide banner in the front, which is a really nice touch. If I had to change anything from the banner, would be this picture here. I don't really like how it looks. I know it's one of the ones that you have on your listing is this one here, but I would just change that one if I could. This one looks so much nicer with the grass, so I would just change that. But other than that, it's very cool, very very nice. Um, Great job at the name of your shop. I think is really cool and very different. I like the fact that you have a tagline. I like the that you added the location. I was gonna say for sales, I don't know if you want to block this or not. It's optional. I will block it. That way, other people that are in your niche wouldn't steal or wouldn't go in here to see what you're selling and what are your most items that you sell, and then steal maybe even like what you're selling and they start selling it in their store. So I would just make it private, but that's up to you. That's optional. That's just my competitive nature of like, I don't want other people to see what I'm actually selling or what are my top selling products because there's a lot of copycats and they'll copy from you. So that's what my suggestion for that. Um, you have great reviews. I was looking at your reviews, so it seems like everybody's very, very happy with your service. So, whatever you're doing with customer service and reviews, keep doing that because obviously you're doing a really good job. I love your About Me section that you guys have pictures and you have like a little storytelling of you and your husband. That's amazing. That makes me want to buy from you guys to support a small business, to support dreams that people have. So that's really really nice. You're connecting with people, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day as well. It's not just simply making money. Another thing you have is your Facebook page. I will add You have a Pinterest page. I will add your Pinterest page in here as well. I will also add in the future if you have time to do Instagram. Instagram does really well with Etsy. For me, it's done really well, so I recommend for you to open an Instagram page, unless you have one. But if you don't, I recommend for you to do that. And then I will add this picture up here that you guys have of yourself. I will add it down here since it's not showing up as a picture, only so you could have your page optimized fully from head to toe, and it just looks more professional and nicer when you have everything in there. Um, I also noticed that this actual item here was liked um, or favorite by 1,032 people. So one strategy that you could do is click here, and you could kind of see who these people are, and it will give you a little bit. You're not gonna get like all their information to create a target audience, but you kind of see who likes your items. Are there more women? Are there more men? What other items are they following? And this is a great way to get to know your target audience and to know who's actually liking your products. For the most part, it seems like there are a lot of women. X is being known to be more women than men, but you can kind of see like what other products they're liking as well. And that way, that kind of shows you a little bit more of who is your audience currently at the moment. So that's just a little thing you could do on the side to kind of play with as well. Um, I would join other Etsy groups, so like on Facebook. They have these groups that you could promote your items, and a lot of these groups got over 20,000 members. Some got like 30,000 members, 50,000 members. That's a quick way to promote an item and drive people back to your shop. Drive a lot of engagement, a lot of liking, and the more engagement you get, that's even better for your store. So it's just a tip that you could do is joining Etsy groups on Facebook. You can also offer a discount for repeat customers. So you could say, "Hey, thank you for shopping at, Wicked Wood Workshop. We appreciate it. Here's a coupon for your next visit." So that's a great way to retain a customer. It's really hard to get a new customer, but it's easier to retain a customer that you currently have. And you do have 146 sales and only 18 reviews. That happens because I got like 3,000 sales and only like 300 reviews, and it's just the nature of the game. But what you could do is start asking for reviews, and you could say hi, and then say their name, Nancy. Thank you for purchasing from my store at Wicked Wood Workshop. I hope you like. I hope you liked it. Please, do you mind leaving me a review? So far, I only have 18 reviews, so it would be really awesome if you could add your review here, and then you leave them a link of where to leave the review. And that's just a strategy that you could start using on every sale, and that will help you get more reviews. And then the more reviews you have, when people are shopping, that's one of the things that people look a lot is reviews. So hopefully that will help you to increase your sales as well. So lastly, I wanted to go over your Facebook and your Pinterest account. So let's go ahead and look for that. Sorry about that I had the page open. So let's talk about Pinterest. So Pinterest is a great way to drive tons of traffic to your shop. I was gonna tell you to move these items, like your items, to the top. I did notice that you have other Etsy stores, which is fine, and you have them here as well. But what I would do is the ones that have fuller, like this one that has more pictures, I will put it on the top. I would do 1/3 of pinning other people's stuff, but all your inventory should be on the top. So all this be yours, and if you ever pin anybody else's stuff, should be in the bottom. For instance, this is one of my Pinterest account, and I have grown it in the last 90 days to get 276,000 monthly views. I'm averaging for the month of July up over 800 clicks from Pinterest alone. And what I did was I put all of my Pinterest items on the top, and then everything else that I repin from other people I put on the bottom. Um, but to be honest with you, this strategy does work. When you don't know what to do, pin, pin, pin. Pin every single day, even if it's 10 minutes a day, you want to pin your stuff, and then you want to pin 1/3 of someone else's. Make sure that you pin stuff that's related to your niche. So you could do other games, you could do ideas of parties, but just let it be all related to what you sell. But whatever you pin that someone else's, you could put on the bottom, or you can mix it with your items as well. I do that as well. But pinning is a great way to grow. I like that you have a tag, you have the branding, you have your logo. So everything else looks really, really good. So you're doing a good job with that. You just need to use Pinterest a little bit more every day so you can start growing it as well. And then secondly, make sure you optimize the whole Pinterest. There should be an edit button, and you should be able to put a caption here, and then that's gonna help you. And then make sure you put those keywords also in the caption as well. So make sure you optimize your Pinterest account to the fullest, almost like your Etsy account. And then your